Alright, now in this video, I'm going to share with you when you have to compare between two groups of a confidence interval, and the question asks you whether is there any significant difference or no significant difference. Okay, so for example, the exercise 6.4 number 7. Now this exercise, I would like you to read the question by yourself, but the main point for this question is they're asking, is there any difference between the mean number of hours sleep for arts and science students? Okay, so what you have is that the question give you 95% confidence interval. They ask you to construct, so construct to the 95% confidence interval for both, which is the science students and the art students. Now the blue color is the science student. Now it come from a sample of 25 science student, and they found out the sample mean is 7.56 hours with standard deviation of 1.53 hours. Now because this sentence with standard deviation referring to your sample 25, thus it is sample standard deviation, okay, which is S. So this one you can say that it is sigma unknown. So your critical value would be T value. Now use your formula for confidence interval. You calculate, you're gonna get your confidence interval is 6.93 to 8.19 minutes, hours of sleeping. Alright, am I right? Oh, it's not minutes, it's hours. So okay, and then the purple color is for the art student. Alright, now art student given the sample of 30 and found out the sample mean is 6.01 hours with standard deviation of 1.6 hours. Now again, this with standard deviation referring to your 30 sample means that your sigma is unknown, your standard deviation is sample standard deviation S. Again, use the formula for the confidence interval, you calculate, then you will get such your confidence interval will be between 5.41 to 6.61 hours. Okay, then to find whether you have a difference or not, what you have to do is draw a real number line, and then you put where your confidence interval is for the two groups. So for the arts and for the science. Now if you look closely, your arts will be 5.41 to 6.61, and the science started with 6.93. So there is no ever overlapping values at all between the two groups. So when there is no overlapping between the two groups, you can say that there is significant difference of the mean number of hours. Alright, so you can write properly your answer. Since the confidence interval is not overlapping for the mean hours of sleep for science student is more than art student based on the 95% confidence interval, hence we can say that there is significant difference between the mean hours of sleep between the two group of students. So that's when you have no overlapping values. Alright, it's clear, no overlapping values. But when you have an overlapping values, now this example is taken from one of the project before. Okay, now your project is supposed to have confidence interval, but we already discussed that. So what you do is that the average time, this project is about the average time spent on social media between male and female. They want to compare between the two groups. So they construct first the confidence interval. They construct the confidence interval. Alright, then it take the 95%. Okay, then after you got the values, so if you look at the green color, the female one, you have 137.1 to 251.5 minutes, which is the time spent on social media. And the male is 167.6 to 257.8 minutes spent on social media. Now if you look over here, there is overlapping values. So since there is overlapping values, you can see there is no statistical evidence to conclude a difference for the time spent on social media. And you can write properly with saying that at 95% confidence level, since the two confidence interval for the mean time spent on social media for female and male student overlapping at certain value, this is very important. There is no statistical evidence. So your reason is because overlapping. So your conclusion, no statistical evidence to conclude there exists any difference between the female and male student. Okay. So to conclude means that if you have overlapping values, you do not have any statistical evidence to conclude the differences. But if there is no overlapping values like this one, so you can conclude that the science students sleep more, or the whatever you're comparing lah. Okay, there is significant difference between the mean number of what you are looking at. Are you guys okay? If you have question, do ask me in Telegram. Thank you.